I want to talk about literally, it might be the investment opportunity of our lifetime, right? So, AI has been the investment opportunity of our lifetime over the past 5 years. The next best thing is happening right now before our eyes, and that's space. Space, the final frontier.
And you just wanna get paid, tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, yeah. Painful profits to help you seek change, and you just wanna get paid, yeah. Tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late, painful profits to help you seek change, yeah. Cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you a better living. Been check to check, you knowing it could be different.
I want to talk about literally, it might be the investment opportunity of our lifetime, right? So, AI has been the investment opportunity of our lifetime over the past 5 years. Anybody who invested in Nvidia, and Soundhound and Micron, you guys have made a lot of money. And my clients, congratulations and thank you for letting me, invest your money. But like, what's next, right? Because like the next best thing is happening right now before our eyes, and that's space. Space, the final frontier, and we're literally going through it right now. The biggest IPO in the history of IPOs, and the IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. That's when a private company becomes public, right? And the biggest IPO that we're ever going to have, maybe in our entire history, is going to be SpaceX. SpaceX is a company owned by Elon Musk. SpaceX right now owns 87 to 90% of all the objects that are in space that are operated. So don't think about like meteors and comets, but like everything that's like was created, they own 87 to 90%. So you think about everything that was launched up in space by China, by Russia, by Japan, and by us. SpaceX owns almost 90% of that. So they literally have a monopoly in space. So because of that monopoly in space, they have a competitive advantage. And what they're doing right now is that they are basically spying on us. They are taking all of our data. They are taking videos, pictures of every single piece of Earth, and they are collecting a database. And they're going to sell that database to companies, to governments. They're going to make a lot of money doing it. And because they have patents to do that, they have another 12 years to basically be the only eye in the sky. So SpaceX is just an investment of a lifetime. The unfortunate part about SpaceX being an investment of a lifetime is that it's been private. And so since it's been private, no one, unless you know somebody who knows somebody, no one has had the ability to actually invest in it. It's going to go public in a few weeks. So SpaceX, when it goes public, it's going to go up like crazy. So like, we're not investing it for our clients at first. Is it just me? Or is that you're working hard, but you're not seeing the financial results that you want? We're clocking in, we're clocking out, we have the income, we're making the money, but our wealth is not growing like we want it to. Well, my friends, it's not your fault. You know why? Because we're never taught how money works. We're taught how to spend it, but we're not taught how to leverage the money that we're making right now to build wealth. Now, wealth, it comes in all different shapes and sizes. The question is, how much wealth do you want for you and your family? But the best part about it is help us on the way. Join us during our 5-day mentorship, where you learn how to structure your money, reduce your tax liability, increase your net worth, and build wealth. We'll show you how to go from a wealth builder to a wealth strategist to a wealth creator, and leaving that long-lasting legacy to your family. Click the link below and join us on our 5-day mentorship, where we'll help you accelerate your wealth. Now back to the episode. It's always best to wait 6 months after a company goes public to invest in that company. The reason why is because you have what you call a lock-in period. A lock-in period is where anybody who works for SpaceX or had that stock before it went public, by law, you have to wait 6 months to sell it. So a lot of people who put their life savings in this, or who knew somebody who worked for SpaceX, they've seen this money go up like crazy over the years, and they have not had any way to sell it because it's private. Now they have that opportunity. So you're going to have a lot of people that invested $1,000 and now it's worth $1 million. They're going to cash in. Now, they're not going to sell all $1 million worth of their money. It might be a couple $100,000, but they're going to cash in. So what's going to happen when this releases in June, it's going to go up like crazy. And then then around like the December timeframe, it's going to go down. That's when you want to buy it. But from an infrastructure standpoint, we have a few stocks that we can buy now that won't be part of that lock-in period, meaning that we can buy them now. We can buy them when the IPO hits in June. We can buy them in July. We can buy them anytime we want to because they're not part of the lock-in period, but they are part of the SpaceX story, and they're going to grow like crazy. So let me share my screen, kind of stock ideas, and then we'll have Tanisha pop on after that. Are you like the 83% of Americans who want to get a trust, who want to get a will, want to get a power of attorney, but you don't have one? Well, you are not alone because 22% of Americans have one. That means 1 out of every 4 families have a trust, a will, and a power of attorney. Which bracket are you in? 1 out of 4 or 3 out of 4? It's okay because we have the Relax Estate, a fully automated AI platform that allows you to create a trust, a will, and a power of attorney all at the fingertips. And if you are an insurance agent, tax professional, financial advisor, notary, or in any business profession, you can even white label this to your clients. You grow your business, you help your clients, everybody wins. Visit our website, www.therelaxestate.com. Right here, therelaxestate.com. And you can create a trust for your family, or if you're a business owner, want to use it to scale your business and help your clients, you can do that as well. Now back to this wonderful episode. The first one is symbol DXYZ. They are a ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. So they are able to buy different companies. And I don't know how they were able to do this, but they was actually able to buy a large amount of SpaceX in their portfolio, the private stock. So when it goes public, it's going to convert from private into public, right? So this stock for us is great right now because it was at $71 a share. Now it's at $48. So we're able to buy this basically right now at at about a 45% discount. So if it just gets back to where it was, right now it's at $48 a share. If it gets back to $71 a share, something being down by 45% means we're going to make about 90% gain. So we're going to make almost a 90% gain on our money. Now, when would that happen? If SpaceX has a crazy IPO, it's very, very easy to see this thing go up like crazy. I mean, heck, it's up by 58% this year, right? I mean, look at this meteoric growth. Once SpaceX said that it was going to go public, it went from $32 a share to $71. It basically doubled in 1 month. It takes some stocks 10 years to double. It doubled in 1 month. Now, of course, when news like that happens and people who had it for a long time, they sell high, and that's why it's kind of went down. But this is a stock that we think is going to could have the potential, because nothing's guaranteed but death and taxes. But this is a stock that we believe will be a huge recipient of SpaceX, and if that happens, then we think it's going to go up. So that's the first stock. The second stock is VELO, VELO. Now this stock is up by only 3.47%. What this stock does is that they do 3D printing, but for large engines, large motors, anything that's just very, very large, right? So we know what 3D printing, and people do 3D printing from a house standpoint. But this gives us the opportunity because once you have now SpaceX doing more rockets, right? More things that goes up in the air because now they're public, so more money's going to come into it, then they're going to have this company print 3D printing wise, because that's how things get created quicker, is through 3D printing. This company is the one that's doing all the 3D printing for them already, right? So SpaceX outsources. They don't use Tesla to do the large engines. They use VELO to basically print. They get materials from other companies and they print. So they have a competitive advantage because anytime a new rocket is going to go up to space, they have to do the printing for the engines, right? So this is a company that we think is going to go up dramatically. Join us in our school community as we have modules, classes, courses to go from a taxpayer to a wealth builder. How to use our cliff, dip, bear strategy to do better with your investments. How to acquire businesses and how to use your retirement plan to grow and not pay taxes. What? I can have a retirement plan grow and not pay taxes? Yes, your IRA or even your 401k at your employer. This and other things we focus on in our school community, the Relax Investor. And guess what? You get 7 days free access and you get our weekly coaching calls every Wednesday. You and hundreds of people ask questions to 6, 7, 8, and even 9-figure business owners that tell you how they created their business, how they run their business, and how their finances is as smooth as it can be. So click the link below and join us in our Relax Investor Academy to help you scale your finances. It was as high as $20. Now it's at $17. So you're to buy it at a 20% discount. But once they do go public and it's more printing, more money that comes into SpaceX, VELO is going to make a lot of money because of it. And the last one is STEM. STM is up about 136% this year. I wish I knew about this in January, because if so, our clients would have been very, very happy. So yeah. But still, STEM, they do all of the infrastructure framework. So when it comes to those satellites, when they're in space, they have to talk back here to America. And they talk via sensor. So it's like, you might see in the nighttime, like all those like little like pings that happen on satellites. That's basically communication from a satellite to some database here. Whereas STEM is the company that's controlling the sensors and controlling the communications from the satellites in space to here. So naturally, if more satellites from SpaceX is going to be launched, then it's going to be more of the technology being used. And when because it's not proprietary. So then when other companies try to then, like Virgin, for instance, or like Bluehost, which is owned by the founder of Amazon, when they start launching stuff into space, they're of course going to use STEM as well, because they have competitive advantage, because it's conceptual. You have proof of concept already. So we believe that STEM has a very, very, very high opportunity to grow dramatically when SpaceX goes public. But then when you also have these other companies that, kind of want to race into space and to do the same thing SpaceX is doing. So again, those are 3 stocks that aren't SpaceX stocks, but they have a correlation from an infrastructure standpoint. And we think they have a very, very high opportunity to not only go up, not only do better than the market, but do extremely better compared to the market. Now, again, past performance does not guarantee future results, and nobody knows but God the future.